Hello guys and welcome back. We're gonna try completing some companion stuff. Maybe secondary. I want to do like a lot of the side quests. We're not worried about those. Because duty comes when we go all the way. But I believe we got done going through all Meryl's stuff. Let's just double look here. Yeah, okay. So let's talk to Meryl.
I didn't think you'd come. I'll find something relatively clean for you to sit on. Can I get you something to eat or drink? I have water.
I came here to see you, Meryl. You don't have to fuss over me.
You're so kind. My first guest and I'm already a terrible host. I wanted to thank you for bringing me here, but I'm making a mess of it.
I'm glad I could help.
I can't say that I like Kirkwall, but I'm glad to be here. I haven't exactly had many friends. Not even among my own clan. This is tricky.
What made you unpopular with the Dalish?
Being first to the Keeper, I was always a bit secluded. I studied magic and history while the others were learning the Via Tanadal. It's good that I left. I'd have made a terrible Keeper. I was never that good with people.
You seem to be getting the hang of it already.
I'm glad you think so. Thank you for coming to visit me, Hawk. It means a lot to me.
Perfect. Okay, let me see here. Using a magic. Caitlin, can you please turn it down? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now we have to go to... Let's go here. This is like one of the side quests here, and then we'll go talk to Fenris here.
So, Isabella, you're a captain. That's right, big girl. What of it? I don't remember your name on any registries. Every ship that docks has to declare.
I never docked. And you're no port authority.
And you are no merchant.
Ooh, scrutiny.
Did you misplace this?
Bless my fool spirit, I never thought I'd see that again. Thank you.
Yeah, we're pretty good, aren't we? But that's okay. We want to do at least all the Act 1 here before we dive into the deep roads. Otherwise we'll lose that. let's see. Adventures of the Black Fox. Born Lord Remy of Vascal in 863 Blessed, the Black Fox was a dashing thief and rogue who went on to inspire so many of his exploits that it is nearly impossible to determine today which are true and which are merely fabricated legend. Despite coming from nobility, he became something of a hero of the common people. His initial exploits involved ridiculing the tentacle and powered lord of Val Chavain. Wearing a mask, he would appear in public and disrupt the lord's plans to point that the lord, angered, put a huge bounty on the life of this cunning fox. The origins of the nickname, which stuck. The primary bounty hunter who took the job, Corliss, ended up becoming Remy's longtime partner in crime, only after nearly killing him several times, is one of the most popular tales told in taverns today. The story is often exaggerated to make Remy appear initially buffoonish, until Corliss becomes so furious at the Black Fox's inexplicable ability to survive that the cunning Remy gained the upper hand, which impressed Carl so much that the bounty hunter joins him. After years of terrorizing the Lord's men and foiling his tax collectors, a favorite pastime of Remy's, according to the Olesian commoners, Remy was supposedly betrayed by his lover Savannah de Marfort. In some versions of the tale, a mage of the Circle, no less, and captured. After more than a year of torture, Remy was rescued from the prison by his compatriots, including Reverend Sabina, and together they escaped Olay. In this period of Remy's adventure, he appeared almost everywhere in Thedas. His legend grew. More innkeepers and merchants were happy to claim that the Black Fox had visited their village or establishment, performing some legendary feat. If the tales are to be believed, Remy led the Lord's men on a merry chase. He became embroiled in political intrigues in Navarra, was hunted by the crows of Antiva, and then kidnapped by a powerful mage in Tevinter. In each situation, Remy escaped death at the last moment, foiling the evil doer, and improved life for the poor and downtrodden. Then, inevitably, he rejoined his band of adventurers and moved on to the next land. His companions, Karis and Sabrina, the wise dwarf Bloic, and the temptress knight Sir Clements, have each spawned their own individual legends over the years. The stories all agree that at some point the Black Fox disappeared. He and his fellow adventurers voyaged into the heart of Arathon Forest, seeking the sunken city of the elves, and never returned. Many more are the tales that expand on what ultimately happened to them in the forest, and proselyted on how they could someday be rescued. From the Adventures of the Black Fox by Gunston Groat 911 Dragon. Alright. Got more books here. Doesn't look like it. In? No. Ooh. The Imperial Chantry. There are those who would tell you that the chantry is the same everywhere as it is here. The divine enviro resides supreme in the eyes of the Maker, and the fact that the unquestionable throughout Thedas. Do not believe it. The Maker's second commandment, magic must serve man, not rule over him, never held the same meaning within ancient Deventer Imperium as it did elsewhere. The Chantry there interpreted the rules as meaning that the mages should never control the minds of other men, and that otherwise their magic benefited the ruler of men as much as possible. When the clerics of Deventer altered the chant of light to reflect this interpretation of the commandment, the divine in Val-Royeaux ordered the clerics to revert to the original chant. They refused, claiming corruption within Val-Royeaux, an argument that grew until, in 487 Towers, the Chantry in Deventer elected its own, legitimate and uncorrupted divine Vahel, who was not only a male but also happened to be one of the most permanent members of the Deventer Circle of Magi. This black divine was revealed outside Deventer, his existence an offense to the Chantry in Val-Royeaux. After 4 exalt marches to dislodge this rebels, all the Chantry in Val-Royeaux accomplished was to cement the separation. While most aspects of the Imperial Chantry's teachings are the same, prohibitions against magic have been weakened, and male priests have become more prevalent. The Circle of Magi today rules Deventer directly, ever since Archon Norman was elected in 734 Storm directly from the ranks of the enchanters, to great applause from the public. He dispensed the old rules forbidding mages from taking part in politics, and within a century the true rulers within the various imperial houses, the mages, took their place openly within the government. The imperial divine is now always drawn from the ranks of the first enchanters and operates as divine and grand enchanter both. This is utterly hearsay to any members of the Chantry outside of Deventer, a return to the day of the Magisters, which brought the blight down upon us, but it exists, and even though we have left the Deventer Imperium to the mercies of the dreaded Chronari, still have endured. Furthermore, confrontation between the Black Divine and our so-called White Divine is inevitable. From the Edicts of the Black Divine by Father David of Quennis, 811, blessed. Okay. History of Kirkwall, Chapter 3. The Chronari first thundered into Kirkwall in 756 Storm during the last of the new exalted marches. The collected nations of Thedas were attempting to drive the Chronari from the northern mainland once and for all. Chronari armies were on the retreat, but in a desperate gamble. Their fleet circled around the Amaranthine coast and landed a great force near the Marcher city of Oswick. Their plan was to overwhelm the Marcher cities of Starkhaven and Kirkwall. Starkhaven to block the roads leading north, and Kirkwall to block the ships on the Waking Sea coming from Olay, all in effort to deny supplies to the Thedas armies assaulting Ravane. The attack on Starkhaven eventually failed, but Kirkwall was attacked in a daring night raid where the Chronari used their Leash Cerebas mages in an unprecedented display of sorcery. The walls were torn down and the city was taken, and for the next 4 years Kirkwall endured the most brutal occupation in its history. Writings from that time are scarce. It is not until after the city was freed that the Chronari deeds came to light. Children taken from families, forced conversion to the Chronari religion, and a brutal labor camps. It's ironic that the old slaves' quarters of Lowtown, still intact after centuries, provide the perfect means for the Qunari to control the city's people. When the famous Orlesian chevalier Sir Michael Laffey rolled into the city after finally defeating the Qunari defenders, he wrote, "Kirkwall is full of people with empty eyes that have held all the independence thought driven from them." When Laffey was appointed the city's first viscount by the emperor in 760 Storm, he made it his mission to undo the religious conditioning. The Laffey bloodline remains popular enough that when the city finally rebelled against Orlesian rule in 805, Blessed Viscount remained the enduring title for Kirkwall's rule despite its origin. From Kirkwall, the City of Chains, by Brother Janativi, 924 Dragon. Alright, let's save here and try not to make Fenris too mad at me.
Egregio Pavali. There are 6 bottles in the cellar. Denarius used to have me pour it for his guests. My appearance intimidated them, he said, which he enjoyed.
You were his servant as well as his bodyguard.
I was his slave. I propped up the furniture when he was so inclined. It's good I can still take pleasure in the small things.
You could have offered me a glass first, you know.
There's more, if you're really interested.
Perish the thought. How else would you redecorate the walls?
I've wanted to leave my past behind me, but it won't stay there. Tell me, have you never wanted to return to Ferelden?
I grew up in Ferelden. It will always be my home.
The Blight is over. You could rebuild what you lost. Do you truly not want to?
My mother came from Kirkwall. Our heritage is here.
Having a place where you can put down roots. I understand. Still, to have the option must be gratifying.
Do you intend to keep living here?
I haven't decided. For now, it's as good as any other place. I would return to Saharan if I could, but there is no life for me there.
Is that where you're from?
So I've been told.
Were you very young when you left then?
Perhaps.
You could track your former master down, I assume.
I imagine he has returned to Minrathous, though I dare not go near the city while he is alive. No, it is better to wait for him to leave his fortress, fight from a fortified position. I do not expect your help when that day comes, but I would not turn it aside.
You've been on the run a long time, then.
3 years now. Denarius has a way of finding me. Perhaps it is the markings. Whatever the means, it never takes him long to follow. This is the first time I've given him reason to pause. I suppose there are advantages in numbers.
Haven't you sought help before?
Hirelings, when I could steal the coin. Never anyone of substance. Until you. Denarius will not give up, however. I await his return.
What if he does give up? What then?
Then I go to him. I will not live with a wolf at my back.
Sounds like the right idea to me.
If it comes to that, I doubt it will.
If you're looking to start a life, you could stay.
I could see myself staying, for the right reasons. I should thank you again for helping me against the hunters. Had I known Anso would find me a woman so capable, I might have asked him to look sooner.
It turned out well enough.
It did at that. I will not keep you longer. Another time, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I have to go stir our supper tonight. Give me one moment. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, have my mic up, or away from my face here. And let's just level him up quickly. I mean, nothing's quickly, but... Okay. Perfect. Okay. So let me see here. What do we have left here? Family history and... Isabel's. Let's see here. No. We're gonna make Anders man. Never fails. I'm always trying to make somebody happy or mad. Wrong button. Okay. 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 Good. Good, good, good. Let's do this, folks.
I've heard about the Circle of Magi outside of the Imperium, but I've never been in one. Are you certain it's wise for you to be here?
Maybe not, but we'll be cautious.
This seems more like a prison. I wonder if it's more effective than the Circle I know.
How is the Imperial Circle of Magi different?
Once upon a time, it was as it is here. The Chantry watched the Magisters closely for any signs of corruption or weakness. Then it changed. The Magisters were permitted to watch over their own, and Templars kept only to enforce the law. What happened next was inevitable. The Magisters rule again, as powerful as they ever were.
You said the Chantry used to watch the Magisters. Why did they stop?
You must remember that the attitude towards magic is different in Tevinter. Magisters came from wealthy families, bloodlines that had nurtured magical talent for countless generations. The Chantry was not trying to control poor peasants, but the scions of the greatest houses in the Imperium.
I thought the Magisters had been thrown down by the Chantry.
On the contrary, Andraste never defeated the Imperium. A great army conquered the south, but not the north. The Magisters eventually surrendered to the Chantry, but they did so on their terms. They kept their influence. Thus, they reclaimed what they lost over the centuries. Some battles are lost by inches.
You talk about the Magisters as if they are all evil.
I have no doubt that some are good and noble men, strong enough to resist temptation. But how many temptations do you wish to offer a man before he will give in? Blood magic is everywhere in Tevinter, from the lowliest apprentice up to the Archon himself.
You can't have seen this for yourself.
Daenerys talked about it often. Of course they say it's forbidden. Behind the smiles and closed doors, however, it's a different matter. To be a Magister in Tevinter is to be glorious. To be a powerful Magister in Tevinter, that is worth any price.
You're saying the same thing could happen here?
If the mages were permitted to be their own watchers, of course. It is too easy for a mage to resort to blood magic if they feel the need is great enough.
As easy as it is to resort to a sword. You were created as a living weapon. Should you not be trusted with your freedom?
My powers are not controlled by a demon. A mage can desire power, justice, revenge, protection. Any cause will do, and then they are lost.
You can't say every mage is corrupt.
All I am saying is the Imperium offers no answer. All that Andraste did long ago to end the tyranny of magic has been undone.
She ended the tyranny of magic and replaced it with an entirely new one.
Considering all that magic has done to my homeland and my race, I weep for your predicament. Power corrupts, as they say, and mages have power enough already.
What the Circle does here is better than the alternative.
An alternative I am very familiar with.
Alternatives are so wonderful for those who have choices.
Freedom is a noble ideal, but I see no oppression here. I see fear and danger. But enough. I'm sure we came here for a reason.
Yeah. So, even though if Hawk doesn't believe that, it gives kind of a happy middle ground here back to everyone. Give me one moment, guys. So back to happy middle ground. Now that I'm back, I'm sorry. Food before game. Let's see here. So what was I saying? Oh my goodness. Anyway, a happy middle ground just to kind of get Anders a little bit in the middle, kind of upset, so that when later down the road, his disapproval is kind of in the middle there. I don't normally end up being friends to him until I think it's set 2. So, I mean, he's easy to please, so whereas Fenris is not overly that easy, and I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I'm just saying that because Hawk agrees about the circle, but, you know, considering the alternative, there's some circles better than others that she probably does believe, but then, you know, Crockwell here is horrible, but she's never lived her life in a circle, so I think she'd pretty much grow up being told no circle, bad circle. So Tevinter, the Magisters. Before it became the Imperium, Tevinter was ruled by destinies of kings. And long before the Chantry, there was a circle of magi, the society of mages in each city. The titles are modern circle uses enchanter, senior enchanter, first enchanter. All originated here, but above the first enchanter, the circles of Tevinter had another official magister. The magisters form a council of the most powerful mages in the kingdom. They convened in Manrethus and held domination over all magic in the land. Boy, I really confused myself when I had to step away for the food, didn't I? When Daenerys seized the throne in 1195 agent, the court of the magisters became the royal court, and magister was the only title of nobility recognized in Deventer. The Imperium today is a monarchy, political power, and solely in the hands of the magisters, who came only from the ranks of the circle. Every young mage aspires to be a magister apprentice because it is the best chance of ascending to the rank of magister themselves. From the Black City, Black Divine, a study of the Deventer Imperium by Sister Patrine, Chantry Scholar. Savey. Save. Okay.
You ever going to stop harping on the mages here?
No.
They aren't what you saw in Tevinter.
The moment they are free, mages will make themselves magisters.
They're slaves. You should want to help them.
I don't.
Okay. Death of a Templar. The dry, dusty earth swallowed up salty drops. Oh wait, I think we read this in DA2, so we're not even gonna read this one. Sorry. Started and changed my mind.
More mages. You talk. I'm going to ask the guards about their training.
I know your face. I am Tobias. You and that man are both hawks. I remember your father. Malcolm was a good man.
I found a letter you sent about a friend of his you could not name.
Ah, the Templar. Your father could not write to him directly, lest the Order find out.
The Templar?
He allowed your father to leave Kirkwall. Rule is not served by caging the best of us. A wise man.
Not what I would expect from a Templar.
There was a time when the rules of the Order could be interpreted to suit a situation. Unlike these days. I will send the letters I held. It seems fitting that they return to family. Such a friendship. Few like your father remain. Even fewer like the Templar. Rest well at the Maker's side, Sir Morivar Carver.
Okay. So, let's see if we got anything over here. The Igdima of Kirkwall. Ancient Deventer lore is hard to come by, but there is history to be held here in Kirkwall, the city once home to the Imperium's slave trade. What answers does Kirkwall hold? By the look here, instead of Provindium or Valdorma, the Imperium does not give up its secrets easily. Even with the Magister's centuries dead, our journey is perilous. Here on the docks of the gallows, we renew our vows, and should we fail, search for the markings of the Band of Three, a tattered letter found under a cobblestone. It has curious markings and is signed the Band of Three. Okay.
Make a watch over you.
The Seekers of Truth. This is going to be kind of information before the Inquisitor came out. So it's very interesting how they tie all three of the games. Sir Whitemore, when I mentioned power greater than the Templars, I didn't mean the Chantry. Sure, they command the Templars, but that was not always so. The Inquisition once hunted heretics and cultists as well as mages, and their region of terror ended only with the institution of the Circle of Magi. They became the Templar Order for good or ill, the Watchers of the Mages, and the martial arm of the Chantry. It was a mutual beneficial agreement or arrangement, but few know that the Chantry created yet another order to watch over the Templars, the Seekers of Truth. I know little of them myself, but I can say the following things with certainty. They serve the divine, and they are feared. When a Seeker steps in from the shadows, Templars run for cover. Because why would he come unless the Templars somehow failed in their duties? Seekers are extremely efficient investigating abuses within the Circle and hunting particular evasive apostates. It is said they are immune to a blood mage mind control and possess the ability to read minds or erase memories, but this is likely exaggerated. So we return to my original dilemma. Who watches powers greater than that of the Templars? One assumes it's the divine, but how much could she know about their activities when their very existence is a mystery to most? A letter from an unknown priest found in the Grand Cathedral Archives. 880 Blessed. Okie dokie. I don't think there's anything down there.
This is yours, if I'm not mistaken.
Where did you get this? It's just what I need. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so that's done. Hightown. Hightown. Okay. Very good. Nothing here.
The first enchanter has marked up these potions well beyond the cost of making them. He is trying to earn money for the Circle.
Ah, welcome, my dear friend, to Sol's shop. My name is Solivitus. Please take a look around. My apologies in advance. Our shelves are a bit bare at the moment. Actually, if you're interested, I could use a bit of help to remedy that.
How can I help?
It's been too dangerous to leave the city of late, and the substances I require for my creations are, of course, elsewhere. Perhaps you could find them. You'll be compensated for your time, have no fear. I'll also give you first pick of my new creations.
Make up a list of what you need, and I'll keep an eye out for you.
Perfect. A discount on everything in the shop, Syrah.
And let me see here. Herbal tasks, secondary. Very well, good.
Welcome back to Sol.
All right. Alright guys, just give me one moment, and if I think this episode has gone too far, we'll come back later. Let me give it a look, otherwise we'll see you in the next episode. Bye now. Alright, we still have some time. Let's go ahead and take care of Carver here.
Here, I got you something.
Why?
We ended on a tense note last time. Take it as you will.
These are by father. Are you sure they aren't meant for you? I bet another mage could get more out of them. For your service that cannot be admitted, I ask that you accept this trinket and know that I shall respect your name. Thank you, Conscience of the Order, Sir Morivar Carver. Carver?
The Templar who allowed Father to leave Kirkwall. Your namesake.
A Templar? Have we met a Templar who isn't a colossal prig?
Father must have felt he was worth honoring.
A man who let him look ahead. And a name that would always mean skill thoughtfully applied.
Seems like he thought it held some promise.
Not a link back, but how to go forward. That's what I was to him. I don't know what to say, except thank you.
Very good. Anything new? Nope. Okay. Carver, Isabel, Varric, come with me to the Hangman.
Maker. I think he's ignoring me now. Hey! Is my coin not good enough for you? Oh, Hawk. Thanks for helping me with that little problem I had. You going to buy me a drink to celebrate our victory?
I don't know if that's wise.
Oh, please. Fixating on what's wise makes you forget what's fun.
Oh, before I forget, are you still looking for work? Because I have a friend who needs some help. Is this a friend or a friend?
I never let him steer my ship, if that's what you're asking. From what I hear, he doesn't have good control of his rudder. His name's Martin. He has a room right here in the Hanged Man. Tell him I sent you. Now, you going to leave me to my drinking or what?
No, you're coming with.
It's 3 bits for a mug.
Alright. Come along.
Stop looking at my chest. My eyes are up here.
But the chest hair...
Do you know how much I suffer under your gaze? I am a person, not an object.
Varric?
Just shitting you.
I love that. Oh, the chest hair. Yes. All fans of Varric can agree upon.
Hey, who are you?
My, you're jumpy. Look at you, cowering in a corner. What happened to the fearless, dashing raider I used to know?
I'm not a raider anymore, Isabella. I'm just an honest merchant now.
Please, Martin. You wouldn't know honest if I tied you up and spanked you with it.
You tie him up. I'll go find some honesty.
Very funny, Isabella. You said you could find me help. This is the best you could do, eh?
You want the help or not?
Yes, I want help. I need someone to help me find out where the raiders have hidden my stolen cargo. This job's as easy as a peg-legged tavern wench. And there's good coin in it to boot.
The language.
What did the raiders do to you?
They closed in on my ship and forced her into the cliffs. My crew and I barely made it out alive. They must have salvaged the cargo when it washed ashore.
Are the raiders a big problem around here?
They've got some big plan for Kirkwall, or so I've heard. If they're not a problem now, they will be soon.
It's your cargo. You look for it.
Those raiders are still looking for me. I'm not going to draw their attention.
You used to be a raider. What happened?
Yes, I was a raider. Back then it was just smuggling and petty thievery. It's changed since that madman Ianto took power around here. Extortion, murder, kidnapping. He does it all. It's just not to my taste. I tried to get out, but he didn't like that. This scar on my neck, he gave it to me. Slit my throat and threw me overboard. I tried to start a new life away from this bullshit. And he has his men chase me down and steal my cargo.
Sounds like trouble you made for yourself.
Why would the raiders want your cargo? Is it valuable?
How should I know why they want it? It's just spices and herbs. Nothing special.
I'll take care of it.
You'll need to look around the docks. The crates bear the seal of the Orlesian Port Authority. So you'll know it when you see it.
You're assuming I know what an Orlesian Port Authority seal looks like.
It's fancy. Just like everything Orlesian. I've had it with the raiders. And this cargo is the key to me getting on the straight and narrow. You're doing me a huge favor here, friend. Thank you. And be careful.
Isabella friendship. Codex updated. Okay, so we're gonna read this and then we'll finally end this episode. The Raiders of the Waking Sea, or simply the Raiders. It is a common name given to associates of Antivan pirates called the Felicissima Armada. I know they said it at one point, but I can't really pronounce it anyway. These pirates are once little more than opportunists based out of the colossal city of Love-Rennie that preyed on the sea traffic. They were often targeted by Orlesians and Free Marcher cities that were bent on destroying the pirates once and for all. After such effort, new pirates would appear to fill the vacuum. During the new exiled marches, the nations of Thedas needed every ship they could muster against the massive power of the Kronori dreadnoughts. The Lamarian pirates were faced with a difficult decision. They had to band together under one flag and fight with those they had previously preyed upon or face conversion and annihilation by the Kronori. Thus the Armada was formed. The pirates brought their knowledge of stealth and trickery to bear, plaguing Kronori supply lines and even launching seaborne invasions against the Kronori coast. For a time it was said that the Armada was premier naval power of Thedas, and after the signing of the Lamarian Accord, they maintained their association rather than disband as many had hoped. Wealthy merchants now often pay the leaders of the Armada rather than risking their ships commandeered and their merchandise stolen and sold on the black market. The Armada is hardly unified, and bloody battles between Armada leaders and frequent. But when faced with an attack by outsiders, the group instantly puts aside their differences and closes ranks. The Raiders have thus become a far more of a threat in the last century than they ever were before. There are many legends told about a dashing and romantic life aboard a Raider's vessel is, but don't believe it. They are scoundrels and smugglers all. From the Downward Fields Guide to Good Society by Lady Akone. Alright.
It's a lot less complex than it used to be.
Were you talking? I didn't really hear what you had to say here, dude. Okay.
So he comes down wearing nothing but his boots.
Riders Keepers. Alright. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye now.